Overpass, being one of the oldest maps in CSGO, is one that's most in need of a graphical overhaul. Fortunately, we've seen a lot of this new Source 2 based version in the videos that Valve has released for Counter-Strike 2 so far.
Bro, this was like the first thing that we saw when it got announced. This was in the first trailer, one of the first frames, bro. Holy shit, the flashbacks that I'm getting.
Let's compare it with how it currently is in CSGO. Bit of a spoiler, if you're here for gameplay changes, you're going to be left underwhelmed. The purpose of this remake isn't to change how the map plays. It's to make it prettier. But there are also a few new things littering the corners, which I presume will either prevent players from going there or will serve as handy boosts to let players peek over walls, because Overpass hasn't had enough of those spots already. Of particular interest to me is this corner of Party. The wall has been swapped out for a door. What does this mean? This door already exists in another spot of the map, so I can demonstrate what to expect from it here. It isn't that tall, so if you jump then you can peer over the top, though I'm not sure how this will help that much on Party, since there seems to be a hedge directly behind it.
Interesting.
What is this, the secret garden? So the second possibility is that this is a new wallbang area through to Long A, coming out about here. Yeah, that would have purpose. I'm unsure how bangable it will be, mind. From the front it looks like the door is made of wood, but behind it is a thick slab of metal. Rifles can just about penetrate it in its current form. Also, check out this gorgeous reflective door handle. It reminds me of Nvidia's oldest tech demo, which is still so much fun to play. Park has had its playground activities changed in order to make them better for gameplay. That awkward slide has been made into a more robust box shape that you can
Can't wait to play a map like this. But, bro, here, a player model, it looks kind of like it would, I don't know, would be harder to see, or? But it looks sexy. It looks sexy. I can't fucking see Dust 2 anymore. Jesus.
hide behind, and those swings you could walk right through previously have been removed and swapped out for those springy horse things. So this is probably good news for players of the game, but a sad day for children, since we all know that swings are the best. I thought at first they'd try to block this corner up, but standing on top of it and jumping might give you a way to peek over the top of this sloped wall, and depending on how far you can edge outwards before falling off the thing, you might even get a powerful defensive spot to shoot from. I'm just not sure at the moment, because it isn't a particularly wide object. These doors on bombsite A are open, which was probably done to block any sort of sightline between them, and to finally show us what's inside these massive crates. And it turns out, it's smaller crates. This corner used to have horizontal pipes, which have been removed, making it feel more spacious, but these new vertical pipes that have just been installed will stop you from hiding right in the very corner anymore. And I noticed that this fountain is bigger. Just thought I'd mention that. Check this out. I suspect this new plank of wood is probably to stop players from doing this.
Oh no!
That was my attempt at covering gameplay changes. Boring, isn't it? We're getting this whole new game engine and I'm here trying to explain what difference an open door of a container will make. So let's get on to the graphics. Let's get the big obvious bit out of the way. It's brighter, more colourful, and I'm hoping will be one of the bigger jumps in graphical fidelity, since it's one that they've categorised as an overhaul, which they claim will have been fully
rebuilt from the ground up, leveraging all of the
This voice brings me back, bro. Oh my, remind me to rewatch the trailer after this. Oh my god, bro. I will never forget about this fucking evening. The announcement evening.
Source 2 tools and rendering features.
But remember, the old Overpass is much older and more primitive than the old Dust 2 was. So does this overhaul catch it up to the Source 2 version of Dust 2, or is it going to be even more advanced again? Well, I guess we'll find out. I'd wager it would be more advanced, just because the Dust 2 remake came out in 2017. Ancient came out later in 2020, and that one was more graphically advanced, so it only makes sense that a map made 3 years after that one is going to be at least—
look at this water. Look at this water.
Made 3 years after—
Bro, we're gonna play this. This is what the major is gonna be on. Simple, simple. Here, buying as RVP. They're making lineups for middle. This is what we're gonna watch. I still can't believe it, bro. Summer, CS2 will replace CSGO. I can't believe it. RIP FPS. Volumetric smokes. RIP FPS. Oh my god. Shut up, bro. FPS so far has been fantastic.
After that one is going to be at least as advanced as that one is again.
And I don't even have a crazy PC or something. 4090, and I'm getting what? 400 FPS? That is more than enough. More than enough.
If not more so. That makes sense, doesn't it? And like they said earlier, they promised that this one's going to leverage
all of the Source 2 tools and rendering features.
Whatever that could mean. Yet despite all this, it's still using some props that I recognise from Left 4 Dead 2. This damn tree model you can see here was used in that game 14 years ago in 2009, and then was used again in Overpass and CSGO. And it looks—
These fucking min-maxers, bro. These min-maxers, holy shit. CS fucking go. The only thing that they do is what? Release community created fucking cases. Oh, jeepers. I mean, hey, we're getting CS2. They've been cooking that up for a while.
Looks like it'll be used again in this brand new...
Fully rebuilt from the ground up, leveraging all of the Source 2 tools and rendering features.
So I guess it's a tree model that Valve really likes and is happy simply updating its lighting again and again and again. And maybe that's all it needs. Though I can't say the reuse of this hedge excites me. It isn't very exciting. And I'm not sure what's going on with these trees in the background. Everything about them seems sort
fuck? They look like Alicia's hair. Sorry.
of flat and semi-transparent looking. Nothing really explains why they look like this, because it looks wrong, and Source 2 is meant to look right. But enough about the foliage, because a lot of other...
Oh shit, bro, I'm gonna fucking start balding as well. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Well, how is that too far? It just is what it is, bro. We're all gonna fucking be balding just in a couple of years from now.
things have changed.
I'm already balding.
And I definitely take the improvements for granted, until I look back at what we had previously and realise just how primitive CSGO is. I mean, just look at these rafters in CSGO. Now I've noticed it, it's sort of the quality you'd expect from a Half-Life 1 map. Let's boot it up and see if we can find something similar. No, that didn't take long. CSGO is Gold Source engine confirmed. Oh my god, there's one under this bit here as well. We've all been staring right at this the whole time. Compared to that, the new overpass has nice shadows and indirectly lit concrete, and some new weird dangly rope things.
So sexy.
I can see one passing straight through the metal here. Valve, please.
9!
fix. Another amusing thing I noticed were these lights up here. That's how they were in CSGO, right?
That's revolutionary.
Lights, what are you doing? Why are you pointing up there? Go home lights, you're drunk. And it's lovely to see the graffiti reworked, and for the blob monsters to have some new friends to
The new dildo?
hang out with. And whereas
Fantastic.
the Dust 2 version in Counter-Strike 2 has lost some of the decorations on the ground, here on Overpass it's gained loose bits of concrete and 3D chunks of stuff, whereas previously it was decidedly very flat looking. I love this graphic stuff, but some of you might be interested in this game for the gameplay. To which I'll draw your attention to these panels around the site. They were metal, but now they look more like a thin stretched fabric, which I assume will be easier to wall bang through. I noticed the same sort of material all the way along this section of the wall here, which was previously mostly concrete, but I need to know what's on the other side before I know how bangable it'll be. I love this new view, beyond the map's playable space. Previously it looked just like an extension of a Half-Life 2 map, and about the same quality as one, but now it looks like a proper city, complete with an even bigger overpass.
Wow.
So there you go, there's always a bigger overpass.
That actually looks like Germany now. Holy shit, those street signs, those apartments.
Bigger overpass.
It's Berlin, right?
So there you go, there's always a bigger overpass out there somewhere. And now that the restrooms have been turned into a full-blown restaurant, you can even see it from Bombsite B, which will help me to get my bearings, as I always found it difficult.
That is sick. I love that. That has such a different feeling to it.
With that massive hedge that divided the map in two. Where is this map based? Germany, obviously. I've always been a bit confused over whether it's Berlin or further south in Nuremberg. The TV tower would suggest the latter, though that's no longer present in this Source 2 version of the map. And this sign now says that we're in Berlin.
Hamburg!
So it's pretty obvious
yes, sir.
where it's set now. And there is still a tall tower on the map, it's just moved position somewhat and isn't that easy to spot in the footage we've seen from this map so far. But here it is, and you can see that it's now very clearly based on the one in Berlin instead, gaining 75 meters in height. How did Valve do grass in Source 1? They didn't, or at least not on Overpass. It was a flat thing, and if you were lucky you got some shrubs like this. So this is perhaps the biggest improvement to the map with Source 2, because they can do grass now that the technology is finally here to light and shade it to an acceptable standard. I like shiny surfaces and I like water, and Overpass looks to be getting 3 different sorts for me to analyse. Maybe 4. Though I'll warn you now, I'm not too hopeful about any of them being cutting edge stuff. The first type of water is this fake stuff, where it's just a shiny texture on the ground. Now this has been a feature since Counter-Strike Source, but Source 2 does...
One of my favorite maps ever, bro. This map I played so much when I first started CS, bro. Fucking Aztec. Bruder. Then they removed it. I remember, bro, because I'm always a one-trick at maps. Always a one-trick. My thought is always, why would I play a map like Mirage or Dust 2, where people have been training on for years and years and years and years and years? I play a map where I become the best at. Smell me? The map comes out, I fucking take over it, alright? Took over Aztec. Took over Aztec. Aztec got removed. Cobblestone came in. Took over Cobblestone. Cobblestone got removed. Vertigo came in. Took over Vertigo. Completely destroyed the Vertigo game.
more with them, and Valve's clearly proud of them too, because some of the new clips we've seen so far exist solely to show how shiny these reflections can look. Overpass now has its own wet room here in tunnels. CSGO already had some reflective puddles here, but they're a wasted opportunity and the reflections didn't do justice to how bright these lights should have looked.
Good, actually.
Counter-Strike 2, though, makes this area bright enough to actually be able to see it, and makes these reflections clear enough to make out the room that they're meant to be mirroring, along with all of the mistakes. I've said great things about Source 2's new parallax-corrected cube maps, but this is about the worst example I've seen of them so far, with the pipes appearing to bend and point in the wrong directions in the reflection, as if I didn't have enough distractions when guarding this place already. Such primitive reflections seem better suited to smaller reflective surfaces, like on this wet mud texture outside. Ignore the obvious water for now and focus on these shiny bits of mud as I scrub back and forth through this clip. Oh yes, that's what I like to see. A big improvement over whatever the hell this texture is meant to be. The version in CSGO looks awful, despite appearing to have cube maps, bump maps, and even a detail texture applied to it already. This reflective mud looks to apply to the whole place now. I love the way the colourful graffiti can be seen in it. I just look at how it picks up the muzzle flashes. Gorgeous. That was the first type of water. The second I found is in this fountain here. Just as a reminder, here it is in CSGO. Half of it looks calm, the other half is having a frantic disco on the surface. And here it is in CS2.
Oh, I just want to toss my coins in there, bro.
This scene is a little too brief for me to get a good look at it, but the water itself seems pleasantly coloured, though that submerged rock surface shouldn't be shiny like that, because the shininess should be coming from the water that's coating it being so reflective. But obviously when it's underwater like that, the surface...
Is that CS2?
Underwater like that, the surface of the water is up here instead. So this is either an oversight from Valve, or this fountain previously didn't have water in it, and then when Valve finally figured out how to do water in Source 2, they added it in but forgot to change the fountain's texture to reflect this. Or rather not to. But this brief clip of the fountain shows us something incredibly important. It shows us that the water reflects the fountain itself. Parallax corrected cube maps can't do this. This is real-time reflections of some kind. Rejoice, for it means that CS2 can do real reflections. Thanks Valve. Now all we have to do is to figure out whether it's screen space, a planar reflection like how it's done in CSGO already, or if this is a separate map containing just the things that the fountain should be reflecting. Though, by the way this bit of the reflection disappears relative to the fountain's position suggests that it's screen space reflections, which would be a little bit disappointing. It just means that if you look up and down, what's shown in the reflection will appear and disappear. But again, a brand new feature for the Counter-Strike series. I'll have to wait for the map to be released before speculating further about this, but this could be the best example we've seen yet of real-time reflections in Counter-Strike 2. And then there's this brief clip as well, which also shows accurate reflections of stuff. And this would be one of the less scrutinised spots of the map where they could perhaps get away with the cheaper effect like screen space better. Which gets us onto the final sort of water shown in Overpass, which you can see here on Bombsite B. It looks sparkly, yet murky, and looks like it even has debris floating on the top, a bit like that screenshot we've got of canals. But is it better than the existing water that's in the CSGO version of Overpass? I mean, this is beginning to look a bit dated now, but I still like it. It has style, and sewagey residue floating on the surface, which I always like to see in water. But perhaps we need to stop asking which looks best, and start asking which looks most realistic.
Really?
So I took a trip to the sewage factory, where they generate the stuff before pumping it into England's rivers. And it turns out, even in these places, water has a diverse variety of different looks.
That looks amazing.
Some looks like water, others brown water, others have a layer of duckweed or foamy sludge coating the surface, and others have suspicious looking things floating about inside them. I didn't understand Valve's obsession with flow maps until I encountered this delightfully turbulent example just here. So if nothing else, this business trip of mine did open the door to some new map ideas. Desalination, perhaps. So there, CSGO definitely has the right idea by having a top layer to the water, but it should be whiter and foamier, perhaps coating the edges of the stream like raw sewage does to our beaches. So I can't complain too much about Overpass's depiction of wastewater, but some foamy fecal residue around the edges would be most welcome.
Oh shit, it's the sewage police.
I had learned too much, and unfortunately my real-life investigation into this matter was cut short. But come Overpass's Source 2 release, nobody will be able to stop me from submerging myself in this sewage until I get some solid answers.
You even made a shot out of it.
So I took a trip to the sewage factory, where they generate the stuff before pumping it into England's rivers. And it turns out, even in these places, Overpass being one of the...
I'm so ready, man, for the second map. Somehow